Hello everyone, welcome to Virtual School Physics is Fun. This is Guan Liao here. Alright, today we are going to learn about real image and virtual image. What's the difference between these two types of images? Well, real image is an image that can be formed on a screen, whereas a virtual image is image that cannot be formed on a screen. Okay, let's look at this picture here. Now, the tree is an object. So the light from the object is reflected by the concave mirror, and we can see the image of the tree on a piece of paper or on a screen. Okay, so this type of image where we see it on the screen or on the paper is a real image. As compared to this side, this convex mirror here, we see the image of the car and also the buildings. Yeah, so the image of these objects, they are seen on the mirror. So we do not see the images on the screen, but we see it on the mirror. So this type of image is called virtual image. Okay, so virtual image they are not formed. We do not see them on a screen, but we see them on the mirror. They are actually behind the mirror. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at it into more detail. Yeah? So, a real image. For example, I have a concave mirror. So, the object, light reflected by the concave mirror. So, image is formed here. So, if we put a piece of paper here, we will see the image of this arrow on the paper, just like the tree just now, image of the tree just now in the earlier slide. Okay, so this type of image is real image. So real image is formed at the intersection of the reflected rays. Okay, so you see this is a reflected ray, this is also a reflected ray, so image is formed at the intersection of the reflected rays. And we see it on the paper, we see it on the screen or on a film, and it is always inverted. Bear in mind, a real image will always be inverted. Now, virtual image. The image of this guy is by the mirror, by the plane mirror. We see his image on the mirror. Okay, we have learned to draw the image of a plane mirror, right? So the image is formed behind the mirror. So we see the image on the mirror. So this is a virtual image. Concave mirror also produce virtual image. Okay, you look here. This is the object. The image is here. You see, the image is inside the mirror. For convex mirror, object is here and the image is also inside the mirror. So from here, we can conclude by saying virtual image is inside the mirror. It is formed inside the mirror. Yeah, it is formed, or in fact, the reflected rays appear to originate from the virtual image. Okay, you see here, this is a reflected ray. This is also a reflected ray. They are diverging. But where do they come from? Where do they meet? They meet if we trace into the mirror. You see here, they meet here. So the meeting point here, where the reflected ray originate, is where the image, the virtual image is formed. Same thing here. This is a reflected ray. This is also a reflected ray. So if we trace these two reflected rays into the mirror, so we use dotted line, yeah, because they are not actual ray. Okay, so you see these two reflected ray originate from here, intersect here. So this is where virtual image is formed. Okay, so reflected rays appear to originate from the virtual image. And we see the virtual image on the mirror. Yeah, you see it on the mirror. And a virtual image is always upright. You will never get a virtual image which is inverted. A real image will be always inverted, whereas a virtual image will always be upright. Now let's do a comparison. So we see that a real image is always on the same side as the object. If it is a mirror, this is a mirror. So the object is here, the image will be formed somewhere here. It's same side as the object. And a virtual image will always be formed opposite side to the object. On the other side of the mirror. Is inside the mirror. So this is a virtual image. Okay, and a real image will always be inverted, like I mentioned before. So we use the acronyms of electromagnetic waves, IR, inverted and real. The acronyms of electromagnetic waves is actually infrared, isn't it? Infrared, which we are very familiar. So infrared. So here we borrow this acronym for inverted and real. Okay. Now virtual will always be upright. So again, we borrow the acronym. So it is virtual and upright. We borrow from the acronym of ultraviolet, electromagnetic waves. So here it is virtual and upright. Okay, so for curved mirror, there are two types, concave mirror, convex mirror. So concave mirror, we can see that the focal point and the center of curvature is in front of the mirror. So this gives us a real focal point. Right, a real focal point, because light that is parallel will be all reflected towards this F. Now we have learned this from the previous video. If you have forgotten, please refer to the video on concave mirror. Okay, so this point we can actually see it with our own eyes. So it is real. It is a real point. So a real point. So it is positive. Now we give a sign positive. As compared to convex mirror, the focal point and the center of curvature is inside the mirror. This is the reflecting side. So these two points are inside the mirror. So this type of focal point is given the sign negative because they are virtual. We do not actually see this point. This point is where all the parallel light reflected from. They are reflected from this point. So this is a negative or virtual focal point for convex lens. Okay, here I make a summary. For concave mirror, focal point is real. Convex mirror, focal point is virtual. So since the focal point is real, so we can actually measure the focal length. Focal length is the distance between focal point and the pole of the mirror, right? So this focal length is positive. Right? Now, convex mirror, the focal point is virtual, therefore the focal length is negative. This negative. Okay, we just learned the difference between real and virtual image. Okay, now if you have a real image and real image will always be determined by the image distance. Or in another word, if the image distance is positive, it will be a real image. But a virtual image will always have image distance which is negative. Why? Because a virtual image is always behind the mirror. Remember? Behind the mirror. So anything behind the mirror, it is negative. Right? A real image which is in front of the mirror, same side as the object. So it is on the positive side. That's why it is positive. It's real. So the image distance is positive. Clear? Okay. All right. So we will stop here. The next lesson, we will continue with application of curved mirrors. All right. That's all for today. Bye bye. Thank you.